If your baby is not walking at 24 months and you're wondering if there's anything that you can do to help your baby learn to walk or learn walking skills at home, this video is for you. Now, a lot of times I've often noticed that if a baby is not able to walk by 24 months, that a lot of times that baby has some difficulty bearing their weight on their legs. And so I always like to start there and then move from there and check the other things that to see what baby is capable of doing and what baby is not able to do. Now you can see this little one I have. I'm trying to get her to bear her body weight on her legs, and then you can see that she is struggling. And the reason that she's struggling is that her legs are weak. She doesn't have the leg strength as yet, and I'm going to show you some exercises to help to strengthen the legs. Look at how much I'm supporting her around her tummy and how much have to support her, but the legs continue to buckle. So when I see a baby that's this old struggling to bear their body weight on their legs, there are three things that I always like to look at. I like to look at leg strength, muscle balance, and weight shifting. Baby needs all three of these together in order to be able to start walking, in order to be able to stand, maintain their balance, and actually have the confidence to take steps forward as baby is moving forward. So I always tell parents you have to start where baby is. So if baby is not able to bear their body weight in standing, then you have to put baby to lie down on their back in what's called a non-weight bearing position and go ahead and start working on strengthening those legs. So if you want to help baby learn walking skills at home, this is where you want to start, especially if baby is not able to bear their body weight on their legs. So now you can see I have this little one lying on his back, and I'm going to show you an exercise called a lying leg press exercise, where you simply put baby to lie flat on their back, and what I want you to do is set it up this way. Put baby to lie flat on their back in front of you. Sit on the ground so that you are comfortable. I like to have my back up against the sofa so that I'm relaxed, baby's relaxed, and then we can start working on doing some lying leg press exercises. And the way you do this is you bend baby's knees and cue baby to push their body against you, push their legs against you. And the idea is to get baby to slide their body across the room. So I'm going to move myself over to the side so you can see how to set this up. And you bend baby's legs and you want to cue baby to push against you as you're straightening baby's legs. Now, when you first start doing this activity, don't be surprised if baby doesn't get it right away, especially if this is a new something that you're trying with your baby for the very first time. You want to make sure that baby understands what it is that you're trying to get him to do. So you have to go through the process a couple of times. And what you're doing is you are bending baby's legs and cueing baby to just go ahead and push against you. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like when baby actually gets the idea and baby knows what it is that you want him to do. So this is a lying leg press exercise. This is the way I typically do it with a little one. I will start off by doing a little bit of bicycling with baby's legs, get baby to relax, and then bend baby's knees, push the knees up against baby's chest and straighten them. As baby begins to get the idea of what it is that you want him to do, baby will start pushing against you. I always like to command baby to go ahead and push as I'm straightening baby's legs. And eventually baby will get the idea, and once baby's legs kick in and baby knows what it is you want him to do, baby will be able to do a lying leg press exercise and slide his body across the floor. And that's what you want to see happening as you continue to practice this with your little one. You want to make sure that baby knows what it is that you want him to do and be able to go ahead and do a lying leg press exercise. Now, if you notice when I'm going through these list of exercises and activities with your baby, you'll notice that they are kind of building on each other, and each one is getting incrementally a little bit more challenging for your baby, which is kind of what you want as baby continues to do this. Once you get babies doing the lying leg press exercises and baby knows what it is you want him to do, and baby continues to practice this, baby's legs will get stronger. Baby's legs are getting stronger. So you want to do a couple of these first, do them for a couple of days, and then as baby continues to get the hang of it, then move on to a couple of the more challenging exercises. Now, the way I like to run my lives, I like to save the questions for last. I do see your question, Miss Celestine Fernie, who says, my grandson is 1 year old and doesn't crawl or walk yet. He just rolls everywhere. I will answer your question in more detail towards the end. Let me get through these. So that's another exercise, an exercise that you can do, Miss Celestine, is do some lying leg presses with your baby to strengthen your baby's legs, and then do this exercise, which is one I like to call baby squats. Now, you'll notice what I have baby set up here doing. I have her picking the toys up off the ground, and then she is squatting off of the end of my knee. And what I want you to pay attention to is where I have her feet positioned. I have her feet positioned directly under her knee. And so all she did was she went from sitting on the end of my knee to standing, and she just did a baby squat and executed a baby squat beautifully as she did a couple of those. So what you can do is have your baby do a couple of squats while you're playing at the end of your knee, using using a chair or using a sofa for balance, so that baby continues to get stronger and stronger. Here you can see I'm doing this with a little boy, and again I'm just have his feet under his knees. You notice where I'm holding him. I'm not giving him any support around his trunk at all, and he's just doing the squats and continuing to build that leg strength and build some leg stability as he continues to get stronger. This is actually the first time I had this little one in standing, and so what I'm doing right now, in addition to doing some baby squats, I'm just kind of shifting his weight side to side so that we can work on the second component of the triangle to be able to shift him and get him to be able to start being able to hold his body weight up as he is standing. You notice what I'm doing is I'm straightening his legs and cueing him to catch his body weight as his knees kind of try to buckle. And you want to switch from doing the squats to having him stand and try to straighten those knees out and be able to stand and bear his body weight. And this is a good way to just continue to work on strengthening the legs so that babies could actually start taking some steps sideways, which is actually the next exercise. Now, actually the next exercise is another one that I like to do with little ones called baby lunges, where what I would typically do is put baby to kneel in front of a couch, and then what I'll do is I will just bring one leg up and then cue baby to now stand. You notice I gave him a little bit of support under his bottom so that he can actually do a lunge with one leg at a time. And what I like to do in situations like this is I will switch the legs so that baby will do one leg and then do the opposite leg as baby continues to practice and work on getting those legs stronger individually before baby actually starts start trying to get a baby to move and take some steps sideways. Sometimes your baby will resist you trying to get into all these different positions, but it's important that you work through it, give your baby support. You can see that he's working pretty hard and he's not crying, he's not fussing, but I'm not letting him get away without doing the exercises and the activities that I want him to do. Once baby is able to stand, then you want to move on and actually take some steps sideways with your little one. So I like to have baby cruising in one direction, then I will move the toy in the opposite direction and have baby cruise in both directions. I also like to, as baby begins to develop better and better balance, to have baby start cruising around the inside corners of the couch as baby gets better with their support and it starts moving in both directions while holding on to the couch. So Miss Celestine said, my grandson is 1 year old and doesn't crawl or walk yet. He just rolls everywhere. Now, typically some babies do use rolling as a way of transporting themselves around. What I would recommend that you do is watch one of my crawling videos, especially if your baby's already 1 year old, your grandson is 1 year old and still not able to walk. I would definitely look at one of my crawling videos and use some crawling activities to help your grandson start crawling. Once baby starts to crawl, baby will get better and be able to actually walk and do better with pulling to stand and cruising. Rolling as a way of moving is usually compensating for some sort of either trunk weakness or leg weakness. I would start with the legs. I would ask you, is your baby able to sit up on their own? That would be one question that I would ask Miss Celestine is, can your baby sit on their own? Or can your grandbaby sit on his own, rather? At 1 year old, I would also ask grandma if baby is able to stand, if baby is able to pull himself up using the couch for support, or if baby just rolls and then doesn't really sit up or doesn't really pull himself up to standing. Because a 1 year old, I would be expecting him to at least be pulling to stand and cruising sideways like I had this little one doing. Can baby do an activity like this where baby is able to pull himself up to standing and move side to side while holding on to the couch for support? This is an activity that's really important before baby will feel confident with walking, is just moving side to side while holding on to the couch for support. Maybe grandma left, but I'm happy to refer grandma to one of my other videos that deals more with crawling, pulling to stand, and cruising side to side. If your baby is not yet crawling, take a look at one of my crawling videos. I'm going to put a link down below and you guys can watch that. If you have any questions, drop a comment. Let me know. I answer all of the comments that I get on this channel. Before I leave, I want to invite everyone to take a look at my free baby milestone checklist. This just is a downloadable checklist. You can print it out, put it on your refrigerator, and have it there as a reference so that you can look at it as you're watching and observing your baby to know if your baby's on track and when you should reach out to get some additional help for your little one. Print it out. It's totally free. Okay? All right, my friends, that's it for today. I will talk